All right, join me on page 344 in your science textbook. Let's go ahead and get started. What is the difference between climate and weather? An area's climate is the long-term average weather pattern of that region. It includes atmospheric conditions such as precipitation, temperature, and wind. Many areas of the United States have climates with warm summers and cold winters. Weather refers to the day-to-day conditions in an area. Even though the climate in many states in the United States include hot summers, the weather on any single summer day may be cool. Different climates. Climates vary by latitude, their distance from the equator, and by altitude, their height above sea level. An area closer to the equator receives more of the sun's heat or radiation than an area further from the equator. As a result, the area near the equator has a warmer climate all year long. For example, the southern United States has a warmer climate than the northern United States. Winter temperatures in Southern California and Florida rarely fall below freezing, and snow rarely falls there. Winter temperatures in North Dakota and Montana, on the other hand, are often below freezing and heavy snowfalls are frequent. Now we're on page 345. Altitude also affects climate. The higher up you go on a mountain, the cooler you will find the temperature to be. Even at the same latitude, a mountain peak may have snow in the spring and summer, while a nearby valley is warm enough for swimming and other summer sports. Radiation from the sun first heats the land, then heat from Earth's surface radiates into the atmosphere and warms it. The thinner air at higher altitudes contains fewer molecules to absorb heat, so it remains cooler. You may have noticed this change in temperature if you have traveled from the warm coast to the cooler inland mountains. Changes in weather. Many factors make up daily weather, including temperature, air pressure, and humidity. Humidity is the amount of water vapor in the air. Precipitation, cloud cover, ocean temperature, and wind patterns also affect weather. A change in any of these factors alters the daily weather in a particular location. Weather conditions averaged over a long period of time determine climate. Constant high temperatures and rain characterize tropical climates. A place that is cold all year has a polar climate. Okay, turning the page, page 346. What is air pressure? Air pressure is the force caused by the weight of air above. Even though air molecules cannot be seen, they take up space and have weight. Air pressure depends on temperature and gravity. When the temperature rises, air molecules move apart. This hotter, less dense air exerts less pressure. When the temperature is cooler, air molecules slow down, and the cooler, denser air exerts more pressure. The force of gravity attracts air particles and pulls them toward Earth, increasing the air pressure. At higher altitudes, fewer air particles are attracted toward Earth, and air pressure falls. If you take a trip to the top of a mountain, you may experience a popping in your ears. The air pressure around you decreases as you climb the mountains. Soon, the pressure inside your ear is no longer in balance with the pressure outside your ear. The popping is your body's attempt to equalize the pressure. Also, during your trip up the mountain, you might notice that you have to breathe more rapidly to get enough oxygen as you climb. Fewer molecules of oxygen exist at higher altitudes, so you have to take more rapid breaths to get the same number of molecules of oxygen into your lungs. The table shows the change in air pressure with altitude. For example, 4,418 meters, or 14,495 feet, is the height of Mount Whitney, the highest point in the 48 adjoined United States, and about 80.5 kilometers, or 100 miles, is considered by some to be the point at which space begins. Air pressure is recorded in pascals, a unit of measure that equals about 0.009 or 9 thousandths of a kilogram or 2/100ths of a pound per 900 square meters or 9,600 square foot. Excuse me. Okay, continuing on page 347, high and low pressure systems. How does air pressure affect weather? Solar radiation does not heat all areas of the Earth in the same way. Temperature affects air pressure. Because temperature and pressure are related to each other in the atmosphere, differences in air pressure around the world exist because of differences in the amount of solar radiation. Differences in air pressure create winds that blow around the globe. The direction of the wind is always from an area of high pressure to an area of low pressure. The cool air in the center of a high-pressure system sinks toward Earth and spreads out along the ground. Clouds rarely form when air sinks. A high-pressure system, then, often means fair weather. A cool, high-pressure system typically brings clear skies and pleasant weather. In the winter, though, a high-pressure system can bring a cold wave. In the United States, for example, a winter high-pressure system can bring frigid Arctic air south across the country. A low-pressure system often brings cloudy weather. The warm air in the center rises, cools, and condenses, and this process creates clouds. In winter, a low-pressure system can bring heavy snowstorms or ice storms in some parts of the country. During warmer months, low-pressure systems often bring thunderstorms or other severe weather. All right, thanks for listening and following along. You continue in your Google Classroom with the rest of your science lesson. Thanks for listening.